Hey guys, Mrs. Dan's here. So we're starting on our workbook now. We're on lesson 1. So this is what I would have displayed on the board if you were in the classroom. I do want you to copy objectives onto the line, and it says that we're going to be simplifying expressions. And it's very important that you write down the next part. It says by first distributing, then second combining like terms. And if you just remember that, you can easily simplify your expressions. And there is a do now for lesson 1. So I'd actually like you to do the do now without me. So hit pause and go do the do now and then turn me back on. And after we go over the do now, I will do some of the development together with you. And then if you were in class, you'd start your homework if time. And your homework is in your workbook on pages 4 and 5. 4 is where the questions are. 5 is a place for you to show your work. So hopefully you did this do now correctly. Number 1, we have to combine like terms. So you learned, hopefully, in the past that x's go with x's, and we like to circle them. Notice I circled the sign with it. And then constants, which is a number without a variable next to each other, go with constants. And again, I included the sign with the number, and notice I used a different shape. So I'll do what I circled first. 2x plus 5x is 7x. And then what I boxed, a positive 5 and a negative 7 is a negative 2. So practicing those integer rules during our first week was pretty important. Number 2, you have to distribute. Remember, distributing, a lot of times your teachers would draw these lines. Distributing really is multiplication over subtraction, or sometimes over addition, depending on what that sign is in those parentheses. 3 times 4x is 12x, and 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. And you're done. The answer is 12x minus 15. Here, be careful when you distribute a negative. A negative 4 times 2x is a negative 8x. And this is a negative 4 times a negative 1. Remember, if you did keep, change, it's definitely a negative 1. You'll see that I tend not to do a keep, change. I just know that that minus sign belongs to the 1, making it a negative 1. So a negative 4 times a negative 1 is a positive 4. And there's our do now. I said I'd do some of the development with you. I'm actually going to start right in on number 5. Remember what our objective says. It says by first distributing and then combining. So let's distribute to get 8x plus 8y. And then let's distribute this 3. It's a positive 3. So I get a positive 3x and then a negative 3y, because a positive 3 times a negative y gives me a negative answer, negative 3y. I will combine 8x and 3x to get 11x. And then I will combine 8y with a negative 3y. Positive 8, negative 3 makes a positive 5y. Let's do number 6. It's just like number 5, except that there's this minus sign here that we have to be careful about. This first distributing isn't so bad. This gives me a 6x plus 21y. And now I have to be careful here. This is a negative 5 getting distributed. So I have to do negative 5 times negative 3 to get a positive 15x. Some people have like a misconception. They think that we bring signs down. We don't bring signs down. The sign that we write down is the answer to the multiplication we just did. So now I'm going to do this negative 5 times the positive 7 to give me a negative 35y. I will combine 6x with 15x to get 21x, and combine 21y with a negative 35y. This is like subtraction. I keep the negative because 35 is bigger than a 21. And I get minus 14y. Final answer is 21x minus 14y. I want to do number 7. Some people are unsure of what gets distributed in number 7. When you see parentheses, that's your hint that we have to distribute. You always distribute what's right in front of the parenthesis. So in front of this parenthesis, there's actually a negative 1, right? You could always put a 1 in front of a parenthesis, and this minus sign belongs to it. So I'm not going to touch the 3x yet, but I am going to distribute this negative 1 to get negative 5x, which makes me write minus 5x, and negative 1 times 4 is a negative 4, so it makes me write a minus 4. I combine like terms. 3x and negative 5x is a negative 2x minus 4. I want to do number 8 because some people misunderstand some of the combining in this problem. The distributing, not a big deal. So when I distribute the 2, I get 2y minus 2. I didn't touch this stuff at the end yet, so I'm just going to write it down. Next comes combining. I need to combine this 2y with the negative y. I like to think of it as a negative 1y. It makes it easier now to combine. It's like a 2 take away 1. 2y take away 1y. I'm left with 1y. This minus 2 isn't like anything, so I'll just write it down. Honestly, you don't have to put a 1 as the coefficient of y. A better way of writing this answer would be y minus 2. This is the nicest way of writing it. I would accept this answer though. And then I'm going to do number 9, and then I'm going to leave you to try some on your own. So I see parentheses, therefore I have to distribute. I'll distribute this 3. I'm not going to touch the 3n yet. This is a positive 3, so I get plus 3 and then minus 3n, and I'm not touching the ending yet, so I'll write it down. I'm going to combine like terms. 3n, take away 3n, leaves me no n, but then I have this minus n. So if I have 0 n's and I take away another n, I'm still left with this negative n, and the 3 doesn't have anything like it, so I'll write down plus 3. So some people mess up that combining. The positive 3 and negative 3, positive 3n and negative 3n make it like a 0, but then I have to take away another n. So now, if you were in class, I'd ask you to do these on your own and then check your answers afterward. So I will ask you to pause the video, try them on your own, and check your answers with me when you're done. On number 1, I will combine to get 16x plus 1. I am going to go through these other ones a little quicker. If you have questions, you're going to have to send them to me or attend extra help. I'm going to combine 7x and a negative 11x to get negative 4x. And there's nothing like that minus 8, so I write it down. I'm going to combine 3x with a negative 9x to get negative 6x, and then I will combine a negative 3y with a positive 7y to get a positive 4y. On number 4, I have to distribute. I get 6x minus 6y. This is a negative 3. When I distribute, I get negative 9x. minus 3y. I will combine like terms. 6x combining with a negative 9x is a negative 3x, and then a negative 6y combining with a negative 3y is a negative 9y. We did 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so I just have to do 10. I'm not going to touch this 2x yet. I will distribute that 3 to get plus 6x minus 27. I will distribute this negative 1 to get minus 4x minus 3. Then I'm going to combine like terms. 2x combines with 6x and combines with minus 4x. So if you go from left to right, 2x and 6x make 8x. And then this 8x combines with that minus 4x to give me a final answer of 4x. Then I will combine the negative 27 with the negative 3 to get negative 30. And that's our classwork for the day. Hopefully you remember some of this from last year. If you had some difficulty, again, you have questions, send it to me. This is your homework. I am going to be very specific right now. When we do riddle dittos like this one, we do not just like next to these write O, A, L, I. I don't want just the letter answer. I also don't want you like drawing lines like this. None of that is acceptable. In order to get credit for this, you have to do the math work. So I need to see that you know that this is a plus 1 that's getting distributed. Therefore, this is a 6x plus 5x minus 8. And then I need to see that you're going to combine to get 11x minus 8. This is what I need to see for your homework. If you want to fill in the riddle, that's fine with me, but to be honest with you, if you leave the riddle blank, but you have all of your math work, I'm going to give you credit. I'm giving you credit for math work, not filling in the riddle. Now, some of these questions have more work than maybe what you can fit here, so you do have this other page. So you can write like number 13 and do all of the work here. So please make sure I can see your work so that you get credit. Good luck, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.